Welcome to the channel all about blues harmonica, and if you're new to it, thumbs up and subscribe. Today I just want to talk about how you go about improvising. What we find is, and you'll see at either the start or the end of this particular video, I just put one very small idea down, and then I'm creating a vocabulary over something. I was trying to water it down and do it as simplistic as I could, just to try and give you an idea. But you get different people at improvising. It's not always because the greatest technical players are necessarily doing the most interesting story. A lot of people can get hooked up on that and thinking that it's kind of a technical exercise. And I can tell you, certainly for blues, it's not really. It's a lot easier, and it's a lot more sort of kind of, the story that you're telling is a lot more free-flowing than people think. For example, if you've got if you're learning sort of like patterns, like if it was a major scale, I'll play something very simple. That's just in so I did one in first position, one in second position. And then you get people who sort of improvise using sort of kind of scaly patterns. And now in the jazz world, I mean, I've been a saxophonist all my life, so in the jazz world, when Coltrane started doing this, of course, they're using ridiculously substitute harmonies, and the rhythm sections are much more complex. All right, but in blues, it's got to be about telling a story. And you know, it's not about sort of playing. The idea is when you learn these lines, okay, the idea is you learn them for speed and dexterity, but then you get rid of them and you just play off the vocabulary. You know, so when you're hearing like, you know, that's just kind of vocabulary. It's just and you're just playing in one very simple scale there. So it's all about rhythm and blues, okay? It's very different from, you know, setting up and going and waiting for the brain to find, and then they'll run down this line and they'll run up this line, and the rhythm section might as well just be a jukebox machine behind them. And some people, you know, they kind of like that, and it is a form of improvisation, of course, but of course everybody's improvisation tells a story, not just about in the music, but it also tells them about the individual that's playing that story. And if you're attracted to this thing for blues, then you know, then always kind of think vocabulary, think phrasing. You know, I'm not going to be talking to you all the time like this without stopping with sentences and pauses and things. And also, you're going to be moving up and down and creating breath dynamics, that kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? All these things should be considered, and the easiest way to do it, as I've said in other videos, is an awful lot of listening. So I don't really think that people spend their time listening to people's patterns all day long. The pattern is a vehicle to execute in order to give you facility to be able to tell this story, not to be saying, I'm going to shove this in now, I'm going to hold it up now, I might find an extra note and then I'll shove that pattern down to there. It is a form of improvising, but it's in some senses it creates a technical thing. But of course, you know, on this we're only playing it in one mode. You know, like if you're playing on any other instrument, you can be running in all 12 keys at speed and through substitute harmonies very easily. Pretty tricky to do on one of these. And of course, if you look at one of the greatest improvisers of his generation, and for many years, 50 years ahead of his time, Charlie Parker, what jazz players call a blues player and what blues players call a jazz player. He was a modern jazz player, one of the founder members of bebop, along with Dizzy Gillespie and many others. But if you just listen to his record, everything that he plays, he never actually plays a pattern. A pattern doesn't exist. He plays vocabulary. So in fact, he's a jazz player, but he's acting like a blues player. I can tell you that from being a jazz player for many years. That's how you come to hear it. As a lay person hearing it, you'll hear it very differently. But he's actually approaching it from a vocabulary, from a phrasing point of view. And that's kind of really important when you're looking at this thing. Particularly when you've got notes that are cramped together. It's a very small instrument, you know, that sort of thing. So that's what I bear in mind with that. You know, you're constantly thinking of, you know, so I'm constantly using vocabulary. So something very simple that I've just done there, very, very simple, but it creates rhythm and blues, and that's what this channel's about. Okay, so you can get me for lessons on Harpo the Healer Wicks. I can't remember if I did it. I think you'll find there's something at the end here. I'm just blowing one very, very simple idea with some guys called blood transfusions. You'll see that. So check that out, and got some podcasts. Have a look at that, all different things. And as always, I'll catch you on the rebound.